Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. I have to warn you, this first story might make you a little angry. Connecticut has a century-old law on the books which prohibits handguns in state parks, and a judge just threw out a lawsuit challenging that law. But the reasoning the judge used is the truly infuriating part. She dismissed the suit because no one has ever been charged under the law, and therefore the plaintiff couldn't possibly have standing. Her claim is no one can have standing if no one was ever harmed.
How stupid is she?
But I'm asking, what do we even need this law for if it has never been used? And I'm sure some folks are wondering what the real chances are of getting charged if they ignored the law. What if we used the gun control laws to destroy the gun control laws, though? I mean, if you registered your pistol as a short-barreled rifle, then... But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned all-American night vision, just like Mom used to make.
Hey, you! Do you want to see in the dark like a superhero? TNVC.com is your source for the finest night vision devices and accessories to make you the bump in the night.
And by Gunstock, a 2-day festival of peace and guns in Waxahachie, Texas, or whatever. Come hang out with me September 23rd and 24th and shoot some guns. We're going to have 40 shooting bays, some music, food, and TNVC experience where you can get your hands on some of the latest night vision devices. Years ago, New Jersey had a law which basically said that if any smart gun was sold commercially anywhere in the US, then all guns that were sold in New Jersey would have to be smart. That's so obviously stupid, even the control freaks could see it had the opposite effect of intended and actually discouraged dealers from carrying smart guns. This law drew a ton of criticism, so back in 2019 they amended the law so it would only require gun stores to also stock smart guns if one which meets certain criteria becomes available. What criteria? Well, that's the fun part. They established a committee to figure that out. 3 years later, the committee got around to meeting and now they finally have an answer.
The answer to the great question,
Yes.
of life, the universe, and everything
Yes.
is
Yes.
42.
Yeah, they pretty much just copy and pasted the legislation and some SAMI standards, and they really didn't establish any objective metrics for reliability. The standards use ambiguous terms like reasonably resistant and it shouldn't physically fall apart when fired. But what standards they did come up with all relate to the pistol not discharging when it's not supposed to, but there are no standards at all requiring it to function when it is intended to work. That means a totally broken gun or even a rock could get approved because it won't fire. But one gun, which won't be approved anytime soon, is that BioFire pistol Ian reviewed on Forgotten Weapons a little while ago. They don't want to trigger New Jersey's law because that would create significant animosity in the market. In short, they want to win fair and square, and I respect them for that. You've probably heard about how bad things are getting in San Francisco.
The shootings, the knifings, the beatings, old ladies being bashed in the head for their Social Security checks. That doesn't bother me a bit. But you know what does bother me?
What?
You know what makes me really sick to my stomach?
What?
The poopy.
Vagrants, needles, poop, and vehicle break-ins. The SFPD says an average of almost 70 vehicle break-ins occur every day in San Francisco. So, one business owner decided to do the only rational thing possible and do his Batman impression, patrolling in black clothing with a mask and less lethal pistol.
He's lived in San Francisco for over 20 years, and lately, instead of going by his legal name, people call him...
I'm called Boots.
They call me Huntress.
So far as I can tell, Boots here isn't trying to arrest anyone or gather evidence. He's just hoping to deter or scare off the thieves. But rather than arresting the crooks, the heroes in the San Francisco PD arrested Boots for brandishing an imitation firearm.
It's really him. You're a victim.
And that makes me wonder how things would have played out if he just simply popped the thugs with pepper balls instead of chasing them off. At the very least, I'm guessing that would do a better job of modifying behavior. Use of physical force or threatening physical force to protect property is justified in many places, presumably even in Californistan. But I'm not a lawyer because I don't think I'd even like the taste of puppy meat. Come to think of it, if he was justified in using force, then he should also have been justified in threatening force, or even threatening deadly physical force with a gun that appears to be a real gun. But as I mentioned, I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. However, it sounds like this arrest was bogus unless he was just threatening random people who got too close to his car. What do you think? Did SFPD arrest him for making them look bad, or was he really out there doing wrong? Comment below. Holosun's new 507 is a thick boy with 8 different reticle options, and we reviewed it on our new review channel. What's that? You didn't know we just launched a new channel? Well, head on over there forthwith to get all the juicy details. But for right now, the new 507 is, as I mentioned, quite thick. The window is larger than the Trijicon SRO and the SIG Romeo Max XL. It has 8 different combinations of reticle options with a 2 MOA dot and 8 MOA, 20 MOA, and 32 MOA circles. The CR1632 battery loads in a tray from the side and is supposed to last 50,000 hours. That battery life is significantly augmented by the auto off and shake awake feature. It utilizes an RMR pattern mount and the MSRP is $435. Now, for your moment of zen.
I think it's the barrel. Ready?
Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors. So, do us a solid and get yourself something nice from TNVC.com. You deserve it. I love you.